be able to back it up on the floor before you can do it in the locker room.
But see, what did you say? As an English major, when you said he was, what would be yes?
But he did it once upon a time, and Jared Dudley never really did it. Most he ever averaged in this league was 13.
That's pretty good.
Really?
Skip, UD was better. UD was an enforcer, but UD had been.
He was seen as on-court heart and soul of that team.
Yes,
right.
But Duds was a good player, Skip. Was he a great player? No. But like I said, sometimes it's more than points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay, so now to the scenario of what just unfolded. The tweets indicate that LeBron got blindsided by this, like he did not see this coming because he tweeted, if this is true, like I don't even know if this is true or not. So back to your point. LeBron James is by far the most important Los Angeles Laker. Yeah. He is the face of the franchise and the face of the NBA. Mm-hmm. So clearly, if this were unfolding, the first thing that would happen would be Jared Dudley would pick up his cell phone and call LeBron or text him and say, hey, they don't want me back. And guess what? I got an opportunity to be an assistant coach on the front row with J. Kidd in Dallas.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So at that point, LeBron would call Pelinka and say, hey, we can make this happen.
Right.
Let's make him an assistant on the Lakers. Because that's basically what he was an assistant coach because he barely played.
Right.
He played a grand total of 81 minutes the whole year last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did that happen? I don't know if it happened. And furthermore, you can now have 15 players on a roster. Why couldn't he be the 15th player making the veterans minimum?
Right.
Okay. 13 dress. Well, given his role, he doesn't even need to dress because I got to tell you, and I know Jared pretty well, he never kept himself in the greatest shape because he barely played, right? And he looked more and more...
No, he was in tip-top shape. That's just what he looked like.
Okay. But he looked more and more as he aged like some guy in a headband you'd see at the Y at noontime trying to get in the game.
I used to see him all the time at Equinox, and they're hooping.
All right.
And he just looked like that
guy.
And that's the mistake a lot of people like, oh, man, Jared Dudley, I see him going at him online. Bro, that's a professional. That's an NBA player.
He is.
Ain't no average Joe just gonna beat him.
Okay, I got it. So why wouldn't, if he's essential to a title run, why wouldn't Rob Pelinka or even Jeannie Buss say, hey, we got to find a spot because it's easy to find a spot for a guy who doesn't play.
It's the same thing with Tom Brady. Why would Coach Belichick let this man go? He's essential to a title run.
Okay, well, you just compared Jared Dudley to Tom Brady.
Skip, what we think and what the locker room thinks is not sometimes what the front office thinks. No, I'm not comparing Jared Dudley, no Tom Brady, but I'm saying how the front office view a player as opposed to how he's viewed in the locker room is something entirely different. Okay. That's all I'm saying. No, there is no comparison.
Okay, and to your point, here's a line from Plaschke talking about Kyle Kuzma was asked on Twitter to cite his greatest teammate ever, and he responded, duds, and it's not even close.
Right.
What does that say for LeBron?
Yeah.
You wouldn't say LeBron James is my greatest teammate?
What you mean greatest? You mean the greatest player he's ever played with? That's a no-brainer. But Skip, just because...
Teammate.
Hold on. So let me get... So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correct. So every player that's ever played with Tom Brady, when they say, well, who's my greatest teammate? You believe they're going to say Tom Brady?
Well, I think...
No, it's got to be 100%. Because why else would they say someone else if it's not Tom Brady? That's the thing, Skip. You can't do that. You can't... See, you quick to deduce. Well, if LeBron James... No! John Elway wasn't my greatest teammate, and that's okay.
In this sport, only 5 can play at once, and grand total of 13 are on the roster.
Greatest teammate is
as
something...
opposed to 53 players, and Tom Brady's played 20 years.
Skip, being the greatest player doesn't mean the greatest player that you've played with. There are other things that go into doing this, being a great teammate. You just think it has to be whomever the best player is, that's got to be my best teammate. That's not the case.
Okay, this is the easiest political battle LeBron could ever try to win. It's just easy. Call Jeannie and just say, hey, find a place for him. It's as simple as that.
But that's what you always said. So you say LeBron's running the Lakers. Well, Jared Dudley's not there. Now all of a sudden he's not running the Lakers.
Well, is this tweet just for show? Is it for real?
What you mean?
About the devastation that he's displaying.
I'm sure he is. But I don't believe, Skip, you ask me, the level of concern as far as going to winning a championship, I don't believe it's going to have the impact that Bill Plaschke believes that it's going to have. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not a significant loss or it's an important loss. I just don't believe.
You are disagreeing publicly with your man LeBron James, and this is another time that you've done that. You are. He's devastated publicly. So I thought you would go to an 8 or a 9 on the degree of loss.
Okay, Skip. But the headline says this could be a blow to their title run. I don't believe it's going to be a blow to their title run. Do I believe LeBron is disappointed? I do. Do I believe he's upset? I do. Do I believe the organization, they based this solely on what doesn't give us points, rebounds, and assists, and didn't see any value inside the locker room? There's another reason why, Skip. They're never in the locker room. Kurt Rambis is not in the locker room. Rob Pelinka is not in the locker room. Jeannie Buss is not in the locker room, and that's okay.
Maybe Kurt Rambis would be occasionally.
Occasionally.
Just because he played and he would be more accepted.
But Mike didn't know the locker room. The coaches didn't know. No. Mr. B didn't know the locker room like I did.
All the coaches I was ever around on your level, they don't walk through the locker room. Jimmy, occasionally, if he had something he needed to say to somebody, but it was a pointed mission where he's saying, I'm going to go tap him on the shoulder and tell him that today you're not going to practice.
The only coach that really came in my years in Denver, Skip, when I got with Mike, the only guy that came through the locker room, the only coach was the running back coach, Bobby Turner, because he came in because he knew we was going to make jokes. We look forward to making the jokes every day, and he looking forward for us to go. But other than that, Skip, when they got the cafeteria, was right on the outside, they would come down the back way to the elevator, get their food, go back up. But Bobby T, nope, he wanted to get these jokes, and we wanted to give them to him.
Okay. So, let's flip this around and look at it through Jared Dudley's eyes, because we're ignoring what his ambition might be here. So it's possible that Jared sat back, and even if they did have some role for him somewhere, in the bench or second row coaching, as an assistant, maybe he's saying, gee, now we got Russ and LeBron and AD. Maybe I don't want to try to referee that. Maybe I don't want to mediate that. Maybe that's a little too much for me to have to fight through.
He read on thing and said he wanted to be there. And he said Rob and Kurt told him that they were going with the younger guys. He said, although I understood, I disagreed with them. So he wanted to be there. He made it abundantly clear in a tweet.
Well, I don't know. He's also quoted liberally in this Plaschke piece. But it's also possible that he befriended Jason Kidd, because obviously he's an assistant, and maybe he believes in Jason Kidd more than he does in Frank Vogel, and maybe he's looking at Dallas as a much younger team with a very young superstar that you love.
I love Vogel,
and maybe Jared's thinking, hey, maybe that's the way to fly now, because I'll have a longer tenure in Dallas than I would with the Lakers, because this thing's just a year or two from blowing up.
The way I look at it, Skip, the young lady that wants me is always more appealing to me than the gorgeous lady that doesn't. The appealing lady to him was, guess who wanted him, Skip? The Dallas Mavericks. Guess who the great-looking young lady was that did not want him? The Los Angeles Lakers. So that's a more appealing situation. We got to stop thinking because oh man, look at, but she don't want you. Dallas wanted him.
Okay.
That's it.
So you're telling me that Rob Pelinka just took away LeBron James' security blanket. That's what he did. No, I'm not. I'm not going anywhere. I'm walking through the door you opened. Rob Pelinka said he doesn't need a security blanket. He doesn't need an advisor. He doesn't need a shoulder to cry on. He doesn't need somebody to tell him no.
You go see now. He was running the team. He and Rich Paul, because all Clutch Sports clients was on that team.
Well, they're
running the team. Yeah. There are a bunch of CAA clients on a lot of teams.
I gave LeBron full credit for every move they made in the offseason because I believe he blessed everyone, if not suggested everyone, including the one that disqualified all of the above, which was Russell Westbrook.
So I just want to make sure. So there's only one CAA client per team. There's only one William Morris client. There's only one Excel client on every NBA roster. If that's the case, you got me, Skip. You got me dead to right. But there better not be 2 or 3 CAA clients on the roster because that's going to be a problem.
Who has more clients, CAA or Rich Paul?
I would like to think an organization would have more clients than...
Like hundreds more.
Yes.
Like, thank you. Okay, so the odds are you're going to have more CAA clients just because CAA is vast, and much bigger than the Rich Paul, whatever it's called.
Can I ask you a question?
Or is it unclutch or clutch?
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Why didn't people have this same problem when David Falk had?
Believe it. His bread is buttered by LeBron James, first and last.
So let me ask you a
Period.
question.
End of story.
So let me ask you a question. So do you think Dwayne Johnson, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's repped by CAA.
I don't know.
Do you think they have his best interest as opposed to, say, the 17th actor? Yes. Don't do that. Skip, you know.